Die.com, and I am here with this week's Mimeograph Monday. And I thought it was about time I got our fun little chicken set out again. And I had been eyeing this card in the January to June mini catalog, this one right here. So I thought that this would be a fun time to do it. This set is coming over into the new catalog, so I'm so excited for that. And the die, the chick, I think it's just called chick. Oh my gosh, my mind. Hey chick is not. So if you don't have the accompanying one and the die for that, you want to make sure you grab it, because it is not coming forward. And that was a, it wasn't in the catalog, it was the actual, remember Celebration a couple years ago? It was a cute little chicken set. So it's kind of like the sister set to these girls. And so anyway, so we brought it back for the time being, and you should definitely grab it. All right, so let me get started, and let me get over into the group so I can see. Hi Barbara, I don't want to miss any comments. Now sometimes I do still miss comments. I get in a zone, right? I get stamping and coloring, and I don't happen to see your comment. So if I don't answer you within the live, please always make sure that you, if you have a question, you put it down below in the descriptions or whatever, the comments later, so I can get it, because I'm not able to add to the chat when the live is done. Okay, so let's see here. Let me go over, as always, a few business things. You want to make sure you sign up for the DSP share, and I will be sending out the whatchamacallit, the PayPal links on the 28th, and then you need to pay by the May the 1st. And I have a couple different shares that you can join. And then I'm looking all over for my little I don't even see it. Isn't that not a very good thing of me to have? But anyways, so you want to make sure that you holler at me on my blog. You also can join my team starting May 4th and get $30 more in your starter kit. So that's always good. I love extra goodies. Don't forget about the clearance rack. Hi Jeannie. And don't forget about the last chance product sale. So that's kind of like what I was mentioning about the chicken set that matches the Hey Birthday Chick, the sister set, I like to call it. That would be considered, last chance. Okay, so let's see here. So here is my catalog. So this is the one that I'm going to be doing. So fun. So as I got looking at it, I was like, oh, so when you are going to case something, you look at it a little bit more carefully. And then here is my recipe. So I always change it just a little bit, because that's just me. I guess I'm a rebel. All right, so let me get my little pieces going here. So it is pumpkin pie cardstock, and I have just scored that in half. I had stuff all over the place this weekend, and then Jeff was hunting, and now he's back. So I'll blame him that I get excited when he's back home, and then I don't get my work done because I'm just weird. Okay, so let's see here. I want to get a little grid sheet. So what I'm going to do, this is, now the card in here is just looks like the twine is tied right on the card. And you know how I feel about having the ribbon on the inside of the card. I'm not a fan. So I changed it a little bit, where I cut a layer that's going to go on top of here. So it did make me tweak the dimensions of the card just a little bit, so everything would fit okay. But it's basically the same card. So Never mistakes in stamping, only design changes, right? All right. Hi, everybody. Nancy, Stacy, Anna. Okay. So this is just a cute little confetti, the fun stuff that you have at a party. And that just goes on the edges. So I'm just stamping that pumpkin pie on pumpkin pie. Easy peasy. And on this edge too. So I fiddle-farted a little bit with my sizes to get them right. And like I told you in one of my other videos, what I usually do is I use copy paper to get my sizes instead of wasting cardstock. And then I can tell if it's going to be the right layer, and then I cut my cardstock. All right, so this is going to be on the inside of the card. And I want to put the fun little dancing chicken, and I want her peeking out of the corner. We have to totally put something on the inside. So I'm just going to have her in the corner here. And I'm just stamping with the Memento. Now I do notice that they used ink pads and I can't even think, and the blender pan. So I'm changing mine a little bit, and I'm just using the blends, because you know me. All right, so look how fun. She's got that confetti all around her. She is ready to party. All right, so let me set her aside so she can dry super good before I keep going on. All right, so now we have, let me flip this over in case there's a little bit of ink. Now we have our piece of basic white, and this is what we're going to stamp. I'm just going to stamp my happy birthday. Hi, Jackie. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp my happy birthday up in the top here. And then my You're Still a Spring Chicken is going to go right down here at the bottom. Now, the card in the catalog, they fussy cutted out the chicken and the balloons. So I'm also going to change that up because we do have a die. And the die wasn't around, like it came out later. So maybe that's why they fussy cut it. So I'm just going to be lazy and I used the die. So I know that my chicken is going to go in here. Let me get these little pieces of so what I usually do for that, where is my little brush? Hold on a minute. This is with the little adapter that I've got my, whatchamacallit, in my brush. So I'm just rubbing that on there. And what that does is it gets all the little pieces off of there. And then just make sure they're not laying on your cardstock, because then it will stick to the ink. Okay. So we know our little chicken is going to go right in here, like that. But the catalog, there's 2 extra balloons. So what I did was I took a Post-it note, and this is one of the big longer ones, the ones that I show that have the Post-it note all the way. This is just sticky on the top. So I know that she's going to go here. And I want to add 2 more balloons. So I just kind of envision here, and I'm pulling her away. So I know that my balloons are going to go there. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ink up the balloons. Let's get her out of there so I don't by accident get ink on her. So I am just inking up my balloon. And I am getting a little bit of butt feather, but that will protect it. And then you're going to come over here and you're going to stamp the balloons. Now I want to make sure I don't get any butt in there. But you want to angle it. So you want to angle it pretty good. So there's one balloon. And so see, this chicken gets on here and not here. So I'm going to ink up the other balloon. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to give it quite an angle. And I'll show you why in a second. That's why I like these Mimeograph Mondays. And I've heard from so many of you that love them too, and I'm so glad. I wish I'd have just kept doing them when I did them years ago. I just kind of stopped because I've kind of figured out what works and what doesn't work. Okay, so close my pad. So now I'm gonna peel this off of here, and just be careful. All right, so now I peel that off of there. Then I'm going to bring my little chicken back, and she's going to go here. So see how they're kind of angled? So you just want to bring her butt up. Now if you bring her down and your strings don't, you can simply just use your Stampin' Right marker. You can use a pen, whatever you want. So if you want to bring it down a little more, you can angle it. And no one is the wiser that you added a little bit more string to your balloons. So here's the one I did earlier. So I brought them down just a little bit, but it's the same thing. So what I showed you, what I said about the angle. So this is the first one I did. And I thought they were fine, but when you add the chicken, they were way off. So see? So this wouldn't be a bad card. You could simply, like if you wanted to reuse this, you hate to waste, you could just simply go like this. I'm going to add like that. Then you could stick her on there. If you didn't want to waste this one, you could stick her on there, that add, and so see, it's totally fine. You know, you could totally do that. So see, it's fine. All right, so let's go back to, so I won't throw that one away because I have another chicken laid out. All right, so let's see here. Let me entertain you. Okay, so now we have, was it this one? I don't even know because they're both the same. Da, 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 da. All right, now we're going to color. So I am going to do what they did, and they used soft suede. So that's what my chicken's going to be. And I'm just going to do the light soft suede. Hi, April. All right, so we were talking to our new neighbors, the ones I made the Schitt's Creek card for the other day, the welcome you. So they're putting a new roof on the house, and it looks super cool. It's like a metal roof. It makes the house look so neat. And they are going to have like a petting kind of zoo thing over there. And so I think they said they have like 70 animals over there. So reptiles and tortoises and stuff like that. So that's what got me knowing they liked Schitt's Creek, because they mentioned the Galapagos turtles, and I think I told you that the other day, and they were like, oh, we love Schitt's Creek. But anyway, so we were looking at the other day through the fence, and they have this really cool animal. We looked at it last night, and Jeff goes, I think it's a kangaroo. And it was kind of scrouched down, and I'm like, well, but it almost looked like a deer face, you know? So who knows? But anyway, so Jeff was out there talking to him, and I went over there, and it's a Patagonia Mara. And it's a combination, it's like related to guinea pig. All right, so this is just the dark, as I get talking about animals, this is the dark soft suede, so I'm just adding that around. Now ahead of time, I did real red and pumpkin pie on the comb and the feet. But anyways, so they're gonna have, like, you know, kids can come and see these fun little animals. So it's pretty cool. But anyways, so this is just a soft suede. I'm coloring that around there. And I don't think I've done this chicken in soft suede. I usually do him in, or do her in the gray. All right, so then I'm just going to touch with my light, soften up those edges just a tad. And if you want them to be softer, like the catalog, you can take your color lifter. So let me bring my color lifter over. And the color lifter pushes color around. It also removes color. So if you want it to be just a little brighter, all you have to do is just barely touch it. And it will just kind of remove some of that color. You don't want to do too much. And it's just going to lighten up some of that there. All right, so they also used the whatchamacallit, light smoky slate. So that's going to go around the edges here. And that just gives us, the chicken is white, but she's got those gray highlights. And while I have this out, I also want to do my cute little girl that's on the inside of the card. We've got to color her, right? She can't be with no color. So I'm just going to quickly add a little bit here and there, not a whole lot. She doesn't need a whole lot of color. And I'll do her little pumpkin pie comb, or her beak, and her comb, and her waddle. She's adorable. All right, so that was real red, and then I'll put a little of the dark. And this is such a small area, I didn't do the soft suede first. But now she's all colored on the inside. She's ready to party. All right, so let's bring our little chicken back that we were doing. And the balloon on the front is Bermuda Bay. So let me go grab my Bermuda Bay. And we'll take this off of here. I'm not going to color it on there. So we're going to go Bermuda Bay. And so see how I'm holding this balloon just so it doesn't move and bend on me, because it is pretty thin. So we're just going to color our Bermuda. So this is the light. I'm going to do the dark. So one thing I noticed was on the balloons, they actually stamped the cute little party confetti on them. So what I did was I cut out a mask. All right, so I'm just adding the dark. So we have a little dark on the edge here. And down here. And around this edge. So fun. And then I'm going to take my color lifter and I want to soften this. And if I don't like the look, then I'm going to fill it in. All right, so we're going to see what happens with that as it sits. Because that's what's fun about the color, the Stampin' blends. You don't know what they're going to do, so that might be too white. All right, so let me get my card. So here's my card. Now we have a real red. Now the balloon is a little bigger, so I am going to use my light soft suede first. So I'm just adding a little bit of the light soft suede. And then I'll color it with my red. Now I'll take my light red. Go all the way around. And then I'll come back with my dark. And I'll do my dark. And that will just cover that suede a little bit. Let's see how that Bermuda one looks. This is just a light, soften that just a little bit. All right, let me see what that Bermuda one looks like. Yeah, I don't care for that one bit. So, I'm going to take my light and we're going to fill it in. We are filling it in. That's what I love about these, because you really can't mess them up at all. All right, then the other one is pumpkin. So we have pumpkin for the other balloon. And it matches the chicken. So that's fun. They coordinated their balloons for the party. This is just the light, and then I'll add my dark. So I'll come over with my pool or pumpkin. It is so funny when I rewatch videos for editing or whatever, when I do them, and I'm like, why did I call that this or whatever? Because I boo-boo. I boo-boo. Okay, what was that? That was the dark. Then I'll come back with my light and just soften the edge just a little bit. Look at that poor tip of my pumpkin. It still works. All right. There we've got our balloons. So we're going to bring our chicken over here like that. All right. So now what did I say about put this little thing on top of the balloons? So it's like the confetti on the balloon. So what I did was I took oh, here it is. Oh my gosh, Diana. Okay. So I stamped my balloon on vellum. And then what I did was I cut it out. So now I have this. So it's going to mask. Now I could have done it on the Post-it note and then it would just stick on there. But I like when I'm going to mask, like this is kind of like a reverse masking, you know. I like to be able to see through it so that I can tell that I'm totally lined up. So if I did this on like a Post-it note, I would just basically be guessing if it was lined up. But with the vellum, you can see through it. So I can totally line this up, but I want to do the pumpkin one because that's the one that I have ink on. This has got pumpkin on it right now. So instead of washing it and then putting it back in the pumpkin. All right. So I just need to make sure I'm very cautious when I'm stamping because this is a thin piece of vellum. I don't want to get it out of side the vellum. So now we have these fun little confettis stamped on the balloon. So then I'm going to do the red one. So I need to wash my stamp. And then I'm going to get the red pad. So hold on a second. We're going to do the same thing to the red and the Bermuda. And I had wondered, I'm like, why is the list mentioning these pads? And that's why. But I do think that they used the blender pen to color them with the ink pads. Look how fun that looks. Oh my gosh, it just totally makes those balloons so cute. All right, so let me wash this red off so we can do the Bermuda one. I'm a rebel a little bit, but I loved that idea of adding a little bit of fun and texture to the balloons by using that stamp. All right, let me get this red pad closed. I have stuff everywhere. I say that every time, but it's true. It is so true. All right. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the Bermuda one. So I'm covering this up. And see, I can tell that it's because I'm, you know, that lines up. The string lines up. So then you know that you're not going to miss anything. And then Bermuda right on top. And then pull that away. Now, if you want, just keep this inside the stamp set case. And then the next time you need it, you have it. Now you'll see my fingers are getting a little dirty, so I have to be careful. I'm gonna wash them real quick because I did stamp the balloon with the memento onto the vellum, and it doesn't really dry well. So hang on, let me get my baby wipes, which I left open last night, so they're dry as dry. But you want to, hang on a second, I gotta go wipe my hands. All right. All right, so if you want to stamp on vellum, the best thing to stamp on the vellum is the stays on. So that's this pad, because then it will dry and be permanent. So that's why that's kind of smeary, because I just stamped it with the memento. So see how that's like smeary and it's still coming off on my fingers. So I probably will not keep this one just because of that. So just kind of be cautious if you do, because then you'll get your fingers all dirty and then all your hard work will be in vain. Okay, so let's put our card together. Oh my gosh, so cute. All right, so let me get all this out of the way. Scoot up just a little bit. Get our little girl that we colored for the inside of the card. So she's gonna go in here. So let's get our glue started. All right, so we're gonna put her on the inside. So this will be a fun card. We did the Over the Border Sweet Ice Cream virtual class this weekend. So I have a bunch of ice cream birthday cards to pull from for my stash too. All right, so look how fun. That's all ready to go. I will not put a greeting on the inside because then I can write in it. Or a lot of times if I send cards as thank yous, I actually put a post-it note so that the person receiving the card can use the card themselves as to send to somebody. Okay, so we have our cute little piece of pumpkin pie that we stamped earlier. And also, so this was because it was using the twine. All right, so let me get my catalog. Oh, I forgot to show you. So it also uses the stitched rectangles and the pine wood planks, okay? And then here is the little, hey, birthday chick, and then I use the dies as well. All right, so let me get the catalog here. All right, so before that goes on there, the yellow ones go on there. So here's where the pine wood planks came from, and here is where the daffodil delight paper is. So these are going to be kind of cattywampus on the card. And then in the center. So I'm going to put them on kind of crooked like they are in the catalog. So they're kind of crooked. Now this is where I had to fiddle a little bit because I believe they used the bigger rectangle, but since I trimmed down, or since I added this, that was like a smaller little piece of pumpkin. So visually, I made my chicken piece go a little smaller. So I had to tweak my sizes just a little bit. But if you are not anal like I am, hang on a minute. If you're not anal like I am, and you don't care about ribbon on the inside of your card, then hey, you're good to go. You could do them bigger if you wanted. All right, so then that's kind of crooked like that. And then see, this is going to come over here like that. So they just kind of stick out the edge. So we've got our twine. So it was almost like I wish I'd have had a rectangle in between those two sizes. But I didn't, so I just went with that one. All right, so then we have our twine. Now this is the white twine that goes with the snail, the snail twine. You get the white and the, not petal pink. I can't think of whatever, but it's like a pink. All right, and I just put it on the wood spool because I love the look of it. All right, so here we have our cute little tied twine, and you can fiddle fart around with your loopy loops if you want. All right, then we're going to stick this on here. All right, so let's get our card. So we're going to put this on our card. Now remember what I always tell you, if you have like a thread or a ribbon or something where the cardstock cannot touch the cardstock, right? There's something like there's a barrier between it. I always use glue dots just because it gives you that little bit of lift, and the glue dot kind of gives, it's a little thicker, so it allows it to stick better. So I'm going to use glue dots instead of just regular adhesive because that ribbon is there, or that twine, or whatever it is, baker's twine. All right. So that's like that, and my crazy bow, and I will mess with that later. All right, so that's going to go on the front of the card. And also, it raises it up just a tad, because I'm always like, if you're going to put that extra little layer of cardstock, take advantage of that shadow line that it's going to give, like, visually. So pop it up a little bit, right? All right, so let me just trim those a little bit. Let's get our card. So, but what I did with this, I did leave this as long as the main card. Instead of cutting it shorter, I didn't care for the look if I'd have cut it shorter. I left it as the main card length. All right, so we're going to put dimensionals on here and really pop that one up. So, but this was just my take on this card. It's always fun to if I hear from somebody that works with Stampin' Up, you know, if they like the card I picked or whatever, it's funny to hear from them. Okay, so then this is going to go in the center. I think that's about the center. Let me stand up a little bit. I think that looks good. Okay, there's that. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on this girl as well. Then we have our little tie here. So this just kind of reminds me of, this is related to the string on the balloon. All right, let me put some dimensionals on her so that she is stuck right down, but she's definitely in front of the back balloons. Oh my gosh, so cute. Isn't that so cute? And then the inside, party chicken. And I never even, so this was, usually I get one done ahead of time, but like I said, Jeff's home. We were talking to the neighbor, so my time got away from me. So I'm just trimming these tails just a little bit. So I have my pieces ready for the next card, and then here's the, so I will be making them after the fact. But I think it looks pretty darn close, even though I used the Stampin' blends. I think it looks pretty close to that one, doesn't it? And then you can see, look, see, they even showed. So they even cut out the little doohickey, but I didn't cut the little doohickey out. But it doesn't look too bad. Like you can tell that this one is fussy cut it out, and I have that little layer around mine. But I still love her. I still love her a lot. So, anyways, so you want to make sure if there is anything that you want me to show for my Mimeograph Monday, make sure you let me know. The earlier the better, so that I have time to figure it out and tweak something like I did with this one. But so fun. I'm so glad the chicken set is staying. So thanks, Anna. But we got Anna and Ann. So anyways, okay, so I'm going to stop blabbing, and because I'm trying to see if there was anything else I wanted to share with you, and I think that was it. I think that was it. So I will see you tomorrow for my Teach Me Tuesdays, and that's at 3 o'clock. Yes, I love the chicken sets too. And that's at 3 o'clock Arizona time, and that is in our Facebook group. So if you are not a member of my Stamping with Dye Facebook group, make sure you pop on over there. There is a link also underneath this video in YouTube, and you can grab the link for the Facebook group as well, so you can get invited. And then it's always fun to do the lives, so that if you do have a question, I can answer, as long as I see it. But so anyway, so enjoy your day. I will see you tomorrow, and I'm gonna make the other card. All right, have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.